Mobile suit team, begin sortie.
Maybe that is a little bit loud. Hey guys, always Sonic here, back with a new one. Turning this guy down. I'm not sure how it will show up on OBS or the finished video, but turning it down here. This time bringing you a video on the Pale Rider, but more importantly, I want to talk about a concept called reading the situation. This might go into my How to Beat Everyone series part 2. Yeah, it is a little too loud on my side. I should be coming to the mic at this point. So this is level 1 Pale Rider, 400. And it's one of the, what I like to call the super mode suits. The super mode suits are suits which you press a button and it becomes a whole lot better than it currently is. Pale Rider as standard is a pretty general, I mean, it's decent, it's decently quick and all that. Main problem, or its main gimmick, so to speak, is that. The 180mm gun, basically. Really, really big, does a lot of damage, but more importantly, does heavy stagger. What that means is it has the unique property of breaking maneuver armor despite the fact it is not in a freak and doesn't have a shotgun, meaning you can do this at any range reliably. So this makes it a very good trick. Sorry, a very good check for raids. Unfortunately there I see that, okay, so team isn't exactly going to push with me or back me up here, so I decide, okay, so this is part 1, reading the situation. You see how your team reacts to things that you do. They weren't there when I was dying, but now that I'm dead, they picked up 2 kills, 3 kills now, and all by that Jin guy, who I believe is the Gym 3. Okay, Gym 3. So what I decide to do in response to that is, okay, if I try pushing out on my own, I'm going to die. The thing about the Pale Rider is it's very, very frail. It only has about 3... Yeah, as you see, I'm not running any bulk in this. It only has 350 health. And its armor isn't really anything to write home about. It's decently quick. It's not so fast that it can just dodge fire like nobody's business, and it doesn't have maneuver armor either, so it's pretty easy to stop. So what I believe the Pale Rider is really good for is punishing bad positioning, people not paying attention. So what you can do... Well, hold on a second. Watch it. Well, first of all, what I should say is what I decide to do for the rest of the game is play babysitter. Okay, this is my fault. This is absolutely a flub on my part. I get the kill, but he heat rods through me to hit the... What was it, the gun cannon 2? Now, what should have happened in that situation is when he was knocked down the first time, I should have been able to just kill him right there. But because I misjudged my upswing, or my standard swing, I thought it would hit a lot lower than it did, and it flubbed it. So that's just me not being familiar enough with the suit. But the reason I decided to help number 2 is A, I don't trust my team enough to help me, and B, he's the single most vulnerable support in the game that's not a tank. It doesn't have any instant stun options. Both its stun options have to charge, and both those charge options are poor because you have to stand still to use them. It doesn't have any other secondary weapons. It is basically incapable of defending itself at all. But if left alone, it's an excellent anti-sniper and just an excellent sniper in general, if left alone. And you see, I have a 180mm gun that doesn't care about maneuver armor. See where you're going with us. And they have 2 raids on the team, the Desert Zaku and the Guff. So what I can do is do the Pale Rider's game plan, which is, ideally, you want to use your 180mm gun to stagger something, preferably a raid, and then do a whole bunch of damage with your standard general nonsense. The 180mm gun is basically for punishing bad positioning or not paying attention or something along those lines. At least that's what I think that's what I think that's how you're supposed to use it. So like in this case, a raid would try running after my gun cannon 2 without clearing the area first of me. What I would do, wait for them to attack the guy. He may or may not land a hit, doesn't matter. What happens is he gets a 180mm to the mouth. He gets heavy staggered, he gets knocked down, he gets hounded on. I thought he would be able to just dodge roll out of that. Fortunately, he doesn't. Well, fortunately, he doesn't. But I'm out of boost now. And now we're in a bit of a problem. Okay, he has nothing going on here, so I'm not even worried about him.
An allied unit has been destroyed.
Don does a really good thing there, trying to block the guys using the mines. Those are some very good. That's actually a very good weapon. But it does take a long time to ready up, so you kind of have to be ready for him. And
An
blanc.
ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit. Enemy mobile suit is down. This is a winning strategy.
Unfortunately, I fail again to defend our gun cannon too. It's alright. As much as I harp on about supporting your team,
Ally has destroyed
this
an
game does
enemy
not
mobile
make it
suit.
easy for you. It honestly doesn't. I say that because we're in the lead and we don't need to do anything, basically. We're in a position where we do nothing and we win. So I was getting my health back, making sure everything is reloaded and ready to go for the next fight. Board, see if I can kill that in one downswing. I
Beacon
cannot.
captured.
Just because I could. No other reason. See, I'm just playing defense here. Making sure that he can snipe. If not unimpeded, then... well, make sure he doesn't die every time the Goof or the Zaku decide, ooh, mine.
An allied. 2 minutes left in the mission. Bases are now more valuable for this mission.
But yeah, again, what I think the Pale Rider is good for is punishing someone with the heavy
An allied
stagger,
unit has been destroyed.
knocking them down, just doing a whole bunch of damage to them. Otherwise, it does the same thing every other general does, but it's slower, doesn't have, well,
The enemy has
it
secured a
might be
beacon.
slower. Might, I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think it's slower. Pretty average speed, all things considered, but it doesn't have as much boost.
Supporting fire incoming. Evacuate the target area. Danger! Evacuate the area!
There, I'm not sure I can save him,
Long-range
but we're going to give it a
supporting fire
shot.
incoming. An allied unit has been firing
Yeah,
at
there's not a whole lot I could have done about that, I'm afraid.
Enemy mobile suit is down.
He dodge rolled out of his invincibility. Plenty I can do about this, though. I try to get the heavy stagger through because it does a lot of damage, no
1
such
minute
luck.
left in the mission. Keep
That's the
fighting.
support type dumb, alright, fine. Not so worried about it, more worried about these guys.
Ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit.
Okay, I think I just got confused there about what I'm actually supposed to be trying to hit. That's also a flub on my part. Figured he was going to try doing some shenaniganery. Not entirely sure what hit me there.
An allied unit has been
Oh, okay,
destroyed.
that was the friendly. Thing about that guy is he can infinite combo
An
me
allied unit has been destroyed.
if I run out of boost. So I'm trying not to put myself in that position by staying at least far enough away from him. Trying to get him to fall back.
An allied unit has been destroyed.
Don't want to do anything.
Time has run
Yep.
out. Special
Just use
effects
his
activated.
invincibility to get out of there and steal the win.
We won. It was close, but we did it.
I don't think this was that impressive of a game. Yeah, Jen absolutely went. Okay, this is kind of what we're seeing here. Okay, let me pause it. Let me pause it. Try to recap everything, put it in a nice little bow for you, and kind of just looking at this. We didn't even base bomb, by the way. Didn't even base bomb. But what I mean by reading the situation is seeing how the tides are turning and try to put yourself in the most advantageous position to do it right. So I see, it takes me one life, but I see that we have the single most vulnerable support in the game, or at least one of them. So I put myself into a position where either I can use them as bait to do a lot of damage to their melees, or I can protect them. And in either scenario, I win because in the case that I protect him, he can do a whole bunch of damage to these guys and counter snipe this guy, or I kill these two. And maybe even set him up for Jen or this guy over here. So either way, we're in a good position. So it's about seeing the silver lining, seeing your situation, and how you can exploit it, if that makes sense. And I hope this is also a half decent guide on at least how I believe we should be using the Pale Rider. I think it's kind of been pushed out the meta at this point, even at 400. But hopefully that was helpful. Maybe it was a bit rambly. I'm not sure I was as concise as I could have been, but I'll see y'all later.
Here are your rewards from this battle.